Rəhim Şəhbazi is the Vice President of the Azerbaijani Societies of North America, of which he is a co-founder. And his other activities include being an officer of the Azerbaijani American Cultural Society. And we're particularly delighted to have him here with us today. Please, either there or at the podium. And again, let me request that you hold your cheering and applause until after the presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Rəhim Şəhbazi. I am from the city of Təbriz. When I say Təbriz, I think of 7,000 years of Turks. They lived in that plateau that today is known as Iran. Təbriz, since 5000 BC, all the way to very early part of 19th century, which is the last dynasty, was the Qajars, the capital of for thousands of years of all those dynasties have been Təbriz. And today, Təbriz, according to the international organization, it is known as capital of South Azerbaijan in Iran. But I want to get back to my talking. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to American Enterprise Institute and Mr. Michael Ledeen for providing the other guests on this panel and me an opportunity to tell everyone about the human trauma suffered by the ethnic groups of Iran. On September 21st, 2005, the new school year in Iran began. A 6-year-old boy, first grader, named Mehran Rahimi, from the city of Qoshachai, Miandab, in West Azerbaijan province, asked his teacher why he was not being taught his mother tongue, Azerbaijani Turkish, instead of Persian. He was beaten up by his teacher and then sent to the principal's office for further punishment. This 6 years old boy ended up with bruises on his body for rudeness. I personally could identify with this tragedy because as a young boy, I had to pay fines and endure punishment for speaking my mother tongue in the classroom. We have learned from the experiences in Afghanistan and Iraq that these countries are multi-ethnic and multilingual societies, and neighboring Iran is no exception. In fact, Iran is a much more diverse society than its neighbors, and the Persians who currently dominate are a minority in Iran. Mr. Maurice Kopitarn, a special representative of the UN Commission on Human Rights, in his speech at the 58th session of the Commission on April 16, 2002 in Geneva, said that the Azerbaijani Turks are Iran's biggest ethnic group and may number 30 million people. Mr. Kopitarn also pointed the serious instances of human rights abuses of Iran's Azerbaijani population. For the past 80 years, the ethnic groups of Iran have been subjected to systematic assimilation imposed by the central governments of Iran. Iran's former president, Mr. Khatami, talked about the famous dialogue among civilizations when it was brought to President Khatami's attention that the dialogue among civilizations must start from within Iran, and that the systematic cultural genocide of the past 80 years that has been imposed on 2/3 of Iran's population, including Azerbaijani Turks, Kurds, Arabs, Baluchis, and Turkmens, needed to stop. President Khatami system of government. Now these groups on opposing don't have the constituency or power to overthrow the Islamic Republic of Iran. Instead, by opposing a federal system, they are keeping the terrorist regime of Iran in power. In conclusion, I would like to note that waves of democracy and human rights from neighboring Afghanistan and Iraq have already affected Iran. President Bush's plan for democratization of greater Middle East has created cautious optimism among the ethnic groups of Iran. Federalism based on modern historical experiences is best suited for Iran, and it is the only way for Iran to move away from extremism and nuclear horror. Of course, as the Sunni minority Arabs in Iraq, the Persian opposition groups from the left to nationalist to religious and monarchist will furiously oppose federalist system in Iran. We envision two major obstacles to federalism. One is the central government of the Islamic Republic, and the second is the Persian opposition groups outside of the country. Both of these groups ignore and deny the existence of different ethnic groups in Iran. In short, in Iran, as a multinational state, the responsibility lies with all the constituent national groups together to chart its future. Otherwise, I fear that ignoring the reality and ignoring 230 years of successful democratic experience of federalism could lead to violence and balkanization of the entire region. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.